Right, hi everybody, it's Thursday, it's the last Thursday of this term. Easter is on the horizon with Easter weekend while we're away, and Easter eggs, which I understand from the newspapers are much more expensive this year and a lot smaller, so beware, you may not get as many, everybody. So today's theme is, what is it? Easter. Bunnies, chocolate, and a little bit of the Bible story. Okay, so I'm going to kick off, and I'm actually going to talk about something that's not on the table, of Mice and Men. Have you heard of this book?
Yeah, I have to do it for GCSE.
Yeah, you're going to probably do it for GCSE. Yeah. Holly, did you do it, or did you do Mockingbird?
I did Mockingbird.
You did Mockingbird, okay.
I think my sisters did Mockingbird.
Yep. There's a choice within Surbiton if you've got a particular teacher. I'm teaching Mice and Men, and there is a character called Lenny who loves the soft things, and he really wants to live with his friend George and live off the fat of the land and tend rabbits, and he wants different coloured rabbits. He's obviously been to a county fair or a state fair and seen different kinds of rabbits, and this is his absolute dream. And John Steinbeck tells the story of George and Lenny as they come to a new ranch, and it's really sad. We're enjoying the Skittles because it all goes wrong, and Lenny, I'm afraid, ends up not getting to tend rabbits, and it's a very sad book, but it tells us about the story of the American dream, America and the United States in the 1930s, and about friendship and loneliness, and how the average working man had a very hard life in the 1930s. It's pretty difficult now, but it was even worse then. So that's the first thing about rabbits, and Lenny's obsession with them. So that's my contribution, at least for the moment. Okay.
Is it like a biography?
No, it's not.
It's fiction.
No, it's fiction. Steinbeck had been round working in California. He was born in California. He'd worked on a lot of farms and ranches, so he'd seen different sorts of people. But it is fiction. It's a story. There are lots of different characters who represent lots of different things. So it came out of his experiences, but not actually people, real people. Okay. Right, who'd like to go next? Rhea? Yes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Right, I'm going to swap and move myself to the other side, so I don't have to be moving.
So I don't have the book, and it's not in the library, but I think everyone knows this book, and if you don't know this book, then that's just insane. So Peter Rabbit.
Oh yes,
everybody knows
that.
I think it's over in the prep, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess everyone grew up reading it or watching it, so it's really
I was obsessed with the TV series.
me too.
He's a very naughty bunny, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. A right rebel.
Yeah.
Why do you like it so much?
I think it's because it's always been there in my childhood, and also it's really even if I watch it now, it's kind of engaging in a way, because it's all the things he tries to do in in both the books and the TV series. It's just engaging, because it would be really fun if you try to do that, and if you watch the movie, not the TV series, it's kind of realistic, so you can kind of imagine it as if it was actually happening. So yeah.
And he has sisters and a cousin, doesn't he? Can you remember
Yes. Benjamin's a cousin.
Mm-hmm. He's got a big tam o'shanter on his head.
Yes, and then I know all the sisters.
Yeah, there's three sisters.
Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail.
Yeah.
And
That sounds like what I named
there's one more, I think.
I have lots of foxes, and I named
Foxes?
Yeah, all of them have names. It reminds me of my 3 little foxes, but they're quite small. And I named them Soxy, Foxy, and Oxy. I can tell them apart because Soxy is the cleanest and fluffiest, and then it goes down to quite dirty.
Mum's not looking after them. And where do they live, Ria? Can you remember?
I think they live like, I'm not really sure of the place, but I know it's like in a tree.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of a big fir tree. Yeah, it's where it's sandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you read the first the very first Peter Rabbit story? Have you read it?
No, yeah, I have. I read like all of them when I was really little. I used to have like the entire set and like, and I was like, yeah. And then I started watching them, and then the movies came out, and then like, kind of forgot the story of the book. Just follow the movies.
Well, it just establishes Peter as a naughty character.
Yes.
Because he wants to steal the carrots, essentially.
Yes.
There's a series of books by somebody who used to be a school inspector. And in the old days, you didn't go around in a team. You went actually individually, and it wasn't so much about telling people what they'd done wrong, but looking at lessons and seeing what was happening. And he went to the northeast in a farming community, and he was talking to them about what they'd been reading, and he said, "Oh, do you read Beatrix Potter?" "Yeah, some of it." And what about Peter Rabbit? What do you think about him as a character? And this little boy said, "Well, around here, Peter Rabbit is a thief because he eats all vegetables, and we're farmers, so we've got no time for Peter Rabbit."
He's a villain.
Geordie accent. So
Gervais Finn, right?
Gervais.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah. So not that. He's a rebel, but sometimes he's with gardeners, for example. Rabbits are a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like the other stories as well? You know, Jemima Puddle Duck and...
Yeah, like all the other characters as well. They like, I guess they could like represent people. It's kind of like how an Animal Farm is like showing the Russian Revolution, but it's like in a good way. You know?
Back to the theme of last week, anthropomorphic animals.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's about the relationship, isn't it, between animals?
Yeah.
Mr. Fox is out to get Jemima, isn't he? And
Yeah.
provide her with a lovely place to have her eggs, but of course he's got a nefarious intent, hasn't he,
Yeah.
to eat them all. Yeah, she was clever.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And very, very clever woman. She was a botanist, a studier of plants. She was a wonderful drawer, an artist, botanical artist. She knew a lot about fungi, and she saved a lot of farms in the Lake District, so that we still have them today. So, and they're now at the National Trust. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ria. Thank you.
Last conclusion. Right, Frida, Lucy.
So, it's a book that is not here.
Right.
Well,
It's also a book that I don't remember the name of, which is very unfortunate, but I know the author. So,
Yes. Who's the author?
I think it's Dick King,
Dicking Smith.
Oh, Dick King Smith.
Dicking Smith?
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I was like really confused whether it was Smith or King. Like you guys saw that. I was like, is it Smith or King? And so that's probably what.
King section and King section, and we couldn't find it.
So the person
asked
who wrote
me.
Babe, yes?
Yeah, he's the author of Babe, Dicking Smith.
Yeah, and so it's it's like more of a children's, like a younger children's book, which is probably why it's not here. And it's about chickens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is like
The folks at home can't see what we're looking at.
No,
Should
so-
we pass
Show
it
them
over,
the duck.
please?
Show them.
There we go. Yeah, they can
So
see
we've
that
got
now.
a chicken, a little chick. Yes?
I made it. And so it's very funny. So all the chickens have very respectable chicken names, like Stop, and all farms, lots of farm signs, and things that they heard their farmers say.
Oh, right, okay.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
So there can be some very funny names. The point of the story is like against the foxes, but the thing is about this farm is because the farmer always neglected the chickens, so they evolved to
Oh, so they become independent livers?
yeah,
Yeah.
but they live in the farm, and so they can fly and they can even remember things for up to a month.
Okay.
Up to a month.
chickens fly.
No,
Very, very small
Yeah.
distances.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
small
but they're like
distances.
phew, 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 phew.
Yeah, they flutter a bit and then they go back down
Yeah.
again, essentially.
Like the same as like jumping at a far distance.
What?
Yeah.
At a
like-
far distance.
You mean like long jump?
Yeah.
That
like
doesn't sound
It's kind of
grammatically
kind of
correct.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And of course, it's all about chickens, which is like Easter, and there's lots of eggs. And the story, the main characters of the story, it's an omniscient narrator, but the main characters are 3 little chickens that are born chicks that are born, and so they hatch, and they're special chickens because they hatch and then they just start to do a bunch of aero acrobatics.
Oh wow.
And they
special
start,
chickens, very special chickens.
Flips and stuff.
yeah, and then they start
Gymnast
like
chickens.
and I do like
Gymnastics.
synchronized flying.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Special. Okay.
And then like there's always lots of funny moments where where some chickens are like,
Dramatic chickens too. Okay.
Okay.
Dramatic chickens, special chickens, and flying chickens.
Gymnastics.
So what happens?
Gymnastics.
In the end? Or is it a spoiler?
Oh, gymnastics.
well, the foxes try a number of things to try and get to the chickens, but of course, since the evolved chickens are very good at avoiding the foxes, doesn't really work so much. Good chicken. And eventually they come up with the chickens come up with a master plan, which I shall not reveal, for if for some reason you want to read.
Okay.
You really
So no spoilers here then.
Yeah.
But it's worth a read, is it?
Yeah, I will discover the name of this book.
Okay.
It's going to be fairly easy.
You never know, they might make a movie of it like they made a movie out of Babe and it comes another big smash hit and then everyone will be talking about it in 10 years' time. Who knows?
Yeah,
You
everyone's
never
going to be
know.
talking about
You
the
heard it
chicken
here
stuff.
first. Gymnastics.
We've had
Gymnastics.
Chicken Run. Which
We've had
was-
Chicken Run.
We've had Chicken Run 2.
Yeah.
Which were very special chickens.
Well,
Yeah.
Gymnastics is coming in 2037 in
Directed
cinemas.
directed by Frida.
Directed by me and Lucy.
We could do it. Like with these are the main characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Lucy. Thank you. Right, Frida. You...
Okay.
These are I didn't really read these books to like the extent I would read a normal book with. It's like the Chocolate Box Girl series by Kathy Cassidy. So, okay, it really puts me off a book if 2 of my friends are reading the book at the same time,
That
and they
happened, did it?
and they talked about it so much.
So they liked it, but you went off it.
They loved the book. I feel like if I had read it before they started raving about it, I would have liked it more. But when I read this one, it's about a girl. So she has like 7 sisters, I think. And her parents are divorced. And they had been for a while now. And her dad lives in Australia with his new girlfriend.
You went into a kind of accent when you said his new girlfriend.
And then that girl, and then one of the sisters called... Wait, actually, I can't remember which story this is. It's really confusing. Oh, this is the one about Cherry. Oh, okay, I'll just tell the other one
So it's
then.
about Cherry.
This book is about Cherry, but I picked the wrong one.
So all the other ones are about... Are they all...
They're all about a different sister.
And a different sort of chocolate.
Yeah, because like their dad has like a chocolate company,
Right.
and they make like this, like all the books of flavors, like Cherry Crush, Cotton Candy, Sweet Honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. I want to
think
talk
it was
about
Eli-
Sweet
I
Honey,
think
but I
Elizabeth-
picked.
I think it was Elizabeth who talked about this before, or was it Caitlin?
They all talked about it. Elizabeth, Caitlin, and Phoebe.
Oh no.
See, Lucy has even heard their distant yapping.
No.
They did it here.
They did it here.
They've
They did
been...
it 3 times.
These have been popular for years, by the way, so... Yeah, no, it's not just them who've been
Oh, yeah.
raving about them. Kathy Cassie's a very popular
So
author.
it's a sort of series about a family.
Yeah, but basically,
It involves Australia.
yeah.
Yeah?
The Aussies. And then basically, I think it was Honey that moved to Australia because she's a bit of a rebel. And Cherry kind of stole her boyfriend, so she was angry at Cherry. So, like, they had a big argument. And then, like, Honey decided to go to Australia and kind of, like, live there with her dad's new girlfriend. But, like, and she made a promise to herself she wasn't going to get involved with boys. And she's going to, like, an all-girls school at the time with a really ugly uniform. Guys, they used red, green, and yellow on a uniform.
That is.
At least I was like one colour.
So is it about teenagers?
It's about, like,
They're like
teenagers and stuff. This one is when Cherry, who is, like, You know the mum who was divorced? She
Yes.
gets a new boyfriend, but we like this boyfriend. We don't like the girlfriend. So basically, this boyfriend comes over with his daughter, Cherry. So Cherry's a stepsister to like the 6 other sisters.
Oh wait, so is Cherry? Okay.
Cherry's
You'd have to make a family tree.
okay. Let's make a family tree.
Oh no.
You've got dad and mum, married, divorced.
Yeah.
But when they were married, they had like honey.
A bunch of.
They had a bunch of kids, right? Divorced. Dad gets a new girlfriend, moves off to Australia. Bye bye. And then we have dad, and then this guy from like I think.
No, you mean mum.
Yeah, mum gets a new boyfriend, and they live in like I think they live somewhere up north. But
It
yeah,
impacts all the children's lives.
yeah. So they drive down with his daughter, Cherry,
Wait, so.
and
See where
then
the conflict
who's
comes.
his, okay, who's. Cherry is whose daughter?
Cherry
Is
is the boyfriend's
Boyfriend's
daughter,
daughter,
and I think her mum died. But we're not going to get into that. I think that's another book.
Wait, so I have a question. Are all of these are like same time, different views, or is it different time, different stories about each one?
It's a good point. Isn't
So
it?
like imagine, okay, so there's one story and there's different perspectives which are each
Wait. I think this is the first book in the collection. I could be wrong. Wait.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that's the first book in the collection. And this is when Cherry moves down. So this is before she steals Honey's boyfriend. Before the drama happens.
So
So
in
it's
Honey's
the
book
average
it's
problem
about
with step-
the boyfriend.
Yeah, Honey.
Essentially, yeah.
Honey basically leaves because she got in trouble for fighting and like
So
resisting.
they're all not at the same time.
Yeah, this is.
Like, harmonising.
They must be singing in the corridor for it to be coming on this much.
Yeah, like. But basically,
I guess so.
I guess so.
I think the way this book works is a conflict that happened in this story and is solved. Like this one, Cherry's broken heart is cured by Honey's boyfriend, and then that leads on to Honey's book when she moves to Australia.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's the gist.
chocolate.
So it's continuously going forward in time.
So you recommend it or wouldn't you?
Depends what kind of person you are.
I think I would. I think I.
You could read
I
it.
just read it because I want.
It is probably aimed at a slightly younger audience, I would say. I think
Yeah.
she starts to get popular sort of with year 5 and year 6, Kathy
Oh,
Cassidy.
okay.
And then.
No, it's like
I'm not saying that you shouldn't
I
read
don't
it,
know.
I'm just saying, I'm just giving you an idea.
All of the books at the same time because when I was young I hated reading so much, but I don't know why. But
No.
I
Well, thank God that's changed.
Yeah, I hated it so much.
You know-
so I didn't read anything.
Oh, I see. So
I
you're
always-
catching up with
yeah.
things that you wouldn't have read when you were younger.
I did something very different. So my sisters forced me to read books that when I was really young that I really shouldn't have read when I was that age.
Interesting.
So
Tut tut tut, Phoebe
when
and
I was in
Esther.
year 2, I was like 6 and I read the entire Percy Jackson.
No, I did. So like
I read
in year-
everything then, and so I kind of skipped like the year 1 to year 5 book stuff. I never really
same.
read any of
I
that.
read Harry Potter really, really young. So when everyone was like,
Same.
when everyone was raving about it in year 5 and year 6,
That's
they were
okay.
talking, what's going to happen next?
I
I
was
was
4.
That's fine.
Read
I just-
Harry
I was
Potter
4
year
when
That's
I-
the age you're supposed to start reading it.
and then
Well,
So,
like,
at
started
least the first
To be fair-
2, at least, anyway.
I feel
First
like
two is fine.
everybody's
Yeah,
gone.
maybe not the later ones.
Not the later
Yeah.
ones.
I feel like everyone's
Until
gone
it's
through a
tomato
Harry
juice.
Potter
It
phase.
grows
Yeah,
up.
you just
It
feel
grows
like a
along with
book,
Harry,
you know.
essentially.
It's
and-
natural to go through the Harry
Harry
Potter
Potter
book
phase.
phase. For people that haven't gone through that phase,
I'm
Yeah,
still
it's
in
just
that.
like kind of.
I'm
what,
scared for
Anyway,
you.
here we are talking about Harry Potter again.
Oh,
to be
God.
fair, that's the first one we talked about it for a while.
It's 'cause life moves on and there are other things to read, aren't there? That's
Yeah.
the
But
thing.
like
I
the
agree.
thing is,
Yeah, we
I
all
had
go through
such a
phases.
special Harry Potter phase. It was like for 5 years.
I'm still
And
in
my
that.
parents, the thing is like, so my best friend's parents, they like Harry Potter, and they took us to Harry Potter World. And then my parents, they like hate the concept of Harry Potter, and they're like, it's magic, it's so not realistic. And I'm like,
Some people just don't like
Some
fantasy.
people don't like fantasy.
It's-
My mum doesn't like fantasy.
That's just quite sad.
no, because the thing is,
no,
it's fine if
just
you
don't-
different people.
Yeah.
it's just it
different
doesn't
people.
matter.
Yeah.
They don't like it. I don't
Yeah.
care if they like it or not. But it's just like they make sure I don't read it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
annoying.
Like, my mum doesn't like it when I read online. Like, I was reading a book on Sora. I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mum was like, read a proper book. Why are you reading online? You look at the screen too much anyway.
Oh yeah, like
Shout out,
my
Mum.
sister. So I was
Alright,
trying to
alright,
read.
Oh yeah, let's
Point
not. Let's
here,
not. Yeah, yeah.
not.
Let's not do
Okay.
that.
So, anything to do with the chocolate theme or
Uh,
not?
Yeah,
The chocolate
their dad's
factory.
own,
Has a factory.
and each of the sisters are named after one of these chocolates.
Okay.
And as said on the packaging, mentioned in nearly every single one of these books, the chocolates are ethnically produced.
Ethically.
Ethically
not
produced.
ethically.
Ethically produced.
Yeah. So
Ethnic
it's
means something
sustainable
different.
and
Yeah.
probably fair trade.
The dad,
Yeah.
Good.
like
That
the,
is
yeah,
good.
the dad always talks about it in every book. So out of the two I read, whenever it came up, I was just like, I always had to look at the other one, like,
Was to remind you to look at what you're buying in terms of chocolate.
yeah,
Yeah, think about
Yeah.
who's made it and in what conditions they
Very
made it.
important.
Yeah,
Good book.
Very.
Yeah.
good book.
Chocolate Box Girls is the name of the
Yes.
series, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the overarching title. So,
Chocolate.
Okay. Thank you, Frida.
thank you.
Thank you. Molly, do you want to talk about anything or not? No. Okay.
No, okay.
Mr. Humphreys.
Me? Yep, sure.
Yep.
I will take you into the darkness. Before bringing you back into the light, I'll talk about two.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about, because it's all been very nice and light and fluffy, and you know me, I like a bit of edge, a bit of darkness. So I'm going to talk about this, The Chocolate War. Robert Colm, have you read this?
No.
No, you haven't read it. Ah, okay. It's a bit of a cult classic. You probably have seen the movie If. Malcolm McDowell.
Oh yeah.
You know it? Yeah?
You've seen If.
When did you see it?
Like, my parents have seen it, and I've been like,
Oh, your parents, but have you seen it?
no.
No, okay, there you go.
Phew.
So, If, which, as Miss Henny says, is not a movie to see just yet. Holly, yes, but the rest of you know. It's essentially rebellion in a school. The kids take over, but with justification, because it's a tyrannical regime that's running the school. In the case of this, essentially it centers around, a bit like If actually, it centers around a new boy called Jerry. Yes, Jerry. And it's, you've all read The Demon Headmaster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like that, you know, with you haven't read The Demon Headmaster? Evil Headmaster hypnotizes all the kids,
some
and
kind of thing.
Yes,
there was a
something
TV
like that,
series
yes.
with the Abbott from Cadval, can't remember his name, the actor.
I read. I watched
You know
it
the
when
one
I
I
was
mean.
very young.
Yeah, I do.
Demon Headmaster.
Yeah, he was in.
He was in Cadval.
He was in Cadval,
He was the Abbott,
yeah.
but I can't remember. I can't remember his name. Anyway,
No, I can't either.
anyway.
Brilliant,
So,
though.
oh yeah, and he perfect Demon Headmaster
Yeah.
in that series, and so it's not like that, but it is run along sort of tyrannical lines. Now, Amor Nos Semper Ducat, we support charity, and we're very proud of supporting charity. They have fundraisers, but they're not to support charity. They're to sort of keep the corrupt system in place.
Oh, okay. Oh, dear.
And so the young boy Jerry, who starts at school, they say, you know, you must sell this chocolate.
Wait.
And
Is it set in America?
yeah,
Oh,
and he refuses. He says, no, I'm not doing that, because it's just propping up this corrupt system. And that one act of defiance and rebellion sets off a chain reaction. And I don't want to say it is like If, but it
Sounds like a good read for later in the year. Maybe.
absolutely
Yeah.
it gets pretty it's
Doesn't it
called
make you
The
want to-
Chocolate War for a reason.
No,
Does
because
it
I
want
feel
to make
like
So-
you eat chocolate?
It's not about that.
No, I wouldn't say it, but it's just the chocolate is the lightning rod here.
I feel like I've seen a book. You know those like book vlogs where they say the best book reads of the year? I'm pretty sure I've seen someone talk about
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
do. 'cause
something like that.
Yeah.
This is
it's set in America.
yeah, set in
yeah.
America, 1970, so it's had time to sort of capture the imagination. There was a sequel too called Beyond the Chocolate War. I won't say what happens in that one, but essentially, yeah, it's chocolate is not the most important aspect of it, but you know, chocolate. If you think about what might
why
cause
it
arguments, chocolate is the sort of thing that can bring out the worst in people. You could argue. Maybe the best too. Miss Huntley just alluded to, you know, we've been talking about the ethically produced chocolate in this one, the fair trade thing and everything. So that's, if you're doing that, then you're bringing out the best in humanity. If you're doing the opposite and exploiting people, you're bringing out the worst. And in this book, there's a bit more of that, at least in terms of the vigils. That's what they're called. I was trying to think what they're called. The vigils. They're like the kind of the controlling faction.
I have a fact about chocolate.
Go on then.
Wait, I watched a TED Ed about chocolate.
A TEDx
TED
talk.
Ed.
Yeah.
There's a TED Ed on the dark history of chocolate.
Yeah.
Really interesting. You should watch it. But yeah, the fact is that they put a new oil in like types of chocolates nowadays. Like if you have a Kit Kat, it will apparently have 0.5% more carbs then
That was
if
the
you
logo I
had
just
one in
dropped into your
1950,
can.
if you had one in
Some of it
1950,
has palm oil. You
Yeah,
have
isn't
to, you
it
have to
like
watch
really
it.
bad?
Yeah.
and apparently they're like oiling down the chocolate as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
What?
to make it go
It's really
It's
further.
going to be oily.
That's why you need to check what's in it when you're buying it.
So it's going to be like fish.
No.
No,
It's just
not
like-
fish oil.
You know
see.
when they
Okay.
just melt
Plant
like
oil.
they melt the cacao beans, they just put loads of oil in it.
Okay.
Then and so
It's
it
like
tastes.
drinking water but thicker.
Yeah.
Like
It's
for
like
taste, but not.
it's like when Cadbury's were taken over by the firm that make Hershey.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the
The,
Cadbury New
US's number one
Chocolate?
chocolate.
So funny. The one who pays the subscription.
I'm not really taking
The
you
one
back
who-
into
Apparently
life.
Cadbury
Oh,
has like the
yeah.
black caramel.
There was this thing that said that on a Cadbury thing that said 50% scan this QR code and you can get 50% off on a trip to the Tower of London.
Oh my god.
And I was like, yay! So we bought it. And then we did it. And then apparently it's 5% off. And it's very clearly said 50. Very clearly.
Trade
Oh,
subscriptions.
You know,
Yeah,
you
the
know that, like,
Advertising
got
Standards Agency, give them a call.
you know
We
the
did.
chocolate company like Tony's or something.
Yeah.
So you know how I was talking about how Cadbury's did the one like who bought the snacks, who bought the drinks, like that new ice cream. Tony's actually like snapped back with like a more like who gets paid, who gets exploited with their pieces on their packaging, like Cadbury's. It's really interesting.
It's because isn't like Tony's like fair trade?
Yes.
Yeah, Tony's just like
And
fair trade.
it's taken off. Its popularity has skyrocketed in the last 2 or 3. You see it everywhere now.
Yeah, isn't it?
So-
'Cause it's,
Yeah,
like,
Tony's
more-
is amazing.
Yeah.
I've loved it for years.
I feel like
I've never had it.
So
What?
apparently that's a crime of itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, Chocolate Wars. We need to crack on a bit because we have got a shorter time window, I'm afraid, folks. I said I was going to take it back into. I'm not sure I totally am, but I thought I'd talk about this because you all read it, haven't you?
I was going to say that.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I
I
don't.
did not read it. My grandma read it too.
But have you seen a film adaptation, or are you familiar with the story?
I'm familiar with the story, not the film.
Wonder Roald Dahl. I don't think I need to say what it's about then. But
Ticket.
it's about the golden ticket, and
I love
fittingly
the
enough, it's about how it brings out the worst in humanity again. Think of the sticky end that is met by various of the children.
Yeah, did they die?
So that's up to you to interpret.
Yes, you have to interpret it.
You know, you could do like. I don't know. That would be too simple. I was going to say, like, imagine you could do like a Litsoc and then like find like the golden ticket in the library.
Yeah, and who would provide the prize?
I would if I was there.
Yeah.
Would you?
Would you?
No.
Okay.
She can say that now.
No, you put the you know where you you stamp the books to take it out. There should be one that's like golden that no one ever takes out. So then when someone's like, oh, this book looks.
Well,
good.
there are a few that have never been taken out.
Well,
So.
Really?
You should
Yeah,
make one
there's
of them.
14,000 books in this library. Do you think
14,000
every single one of those is borrowed? No, of course not.
No.
I think one of them should have like a golden stamper. So if someone checks that out, you say you're the first person to read this book. So you get.
No, that's not necessarily true.
Oh, you're the
Just
first
because it's
person
only
to
taken out
take
doesn't
the
mean they
book
haven't
out of
been read.
this
Exactly.
library.
Sometimes, people, and you year 7 should know this, I'm always asked, oh, can I just borrow this book for this lesson? And then you return it without me stamping it. So.
Oh wait, can you do that?
I've never done.
Oh, yeah, I'm just giving an example, but of course you can do it. Yeah, of course you can
Wait,
do it.
so
If you
they-
come in at lunchtime, Rhea, sometimes I'm sure you've done it as well. When you come in here at break and lunchtime, I'm sure I've seen you just take a book for yourself, read it, and then put it back at the end.
Yeah, but like I don't take it out for a lesson.
No,
I
of
mean,
course,
like,
but
yeah,
but
yeah,
the
you
principle's
like-
the
I
same.
get-
So long as you make sure
Yeah,
you
I
return it, then yeah.
Yeah. But like you wouldn't. Oh my gosh! I remember once. A friend of mine once took. She wasn't reading a book, then she walked out the door and realised she hadn't checked.
Well, at least she realised her
And
mistake.
it was so awkward.
Right,
to
I'm gonna
check
cut. I'm gonna
out.
cut short the digress. We're having to really be a bit more disciplined today. We can't digress as much as we normally do. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it. Just this is the ultimate book about childhood, really, and by one of our greatest ever children's authors. So there you go. So I'd mention that, and now Miss Huntley.
This was finished with Easter. Easter's story
Are you gonna-
is
no,
in
okay.
the New Testament part of the Bible. The story is told by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The Christian story from which the Christian faith comes on the Friday. our Lord is crucified, and then he's put in the tomb, and on Sunday morning he rises. So 3 days is the Passion. That's what it's known as, the Passion. And so for tonight, for example, we're going to the Globe, and a couple of various other people on the South Bank will be attending the St Matthew Passion, which is an incredibly famous piece of music based on the story told by St Matthew in the Gospel. And it couldn't be a more famous piece of music. And the Bible, New Testament, Old Testament, is part of our culture because we are a Christian country still. We have an established religion. So it's important to know the story. And going back to Of Mice and Men, they arrive at the ranch on Thursday evening, and by Sunday afternoon...
Can I come back in it for them? Is that okay?
For a few minutes. I'll be with you in a second.
The worst has happened, so it is based on the time frame of our Lord's Passion. So, and there's all sorts of films that will be on all over the networks over the Easter period, retelling the story from all sorts of different people's points of view. The most famous and probably one of the best, I think, is Ben-Hur, which is a very, very famous story written in the 1920s, even before that, actually, wasn't it?
That's just like after
that sounds about right to me. 1920s.
After World War One.
After World War One. Yeah.
So was
Yes.
that made as kind of like soother?
Soother?
Not like
No.
Soother.
No,
No, wait,
it's
what?
not a soother.
No, it wasn't made.
It's about
So,
one's
like,
man.
World War One ended
It's
in
about one man's.
1918.
It's about a
Yes,
Jewish
about 18
prince.
years.
It's about a Jewish prince whose life intersects with Jesus because he grew up in Palestine, now Israel, and of course that's where Jesus is believed to have been born and had his ministry. And Ben-Hur, or Judah Ben-Hur as his full name is, they've done 3 films now over the years. And lots of different actors playing them. The most famous one to me is Charlton Heston, and the end where he reunites with his family, who had been missing for very many years, is very powerful because the crucifixion has just happened, but there's a sense of renewal and reunifying the family together at the end, and it's so. And that's what happens. A lot of stories from the Bible are retold for a different audience because different things make more sense. So that too. So the eggs. Have you seen the eggs in reception hanging on the tree? Yeah.
It's apparently a German tradition.
Yeah. It's
That's what my
it's a tradition
German
across
teacher says
most of
anyway.
Europe. Not so much here, but certainly across Europe. Yeah, I have them at home, or a little tree full of little eggs and things, chicks and stuff.
We just have, I paint an egg and then I put it in a box. I have one from since I was 4.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
one from when I was 4 is so ugly. I mixed up all the colours thinking it was going to be a rainbow. Got a lovely
Brown.
shade of brown.
Who would have guessed?
And there's special breakfasts on Easter Sunday and special in different households. And then on Fridays there are passion plays and all sorts of other things happening. So yeah, it's very important. So we've also got chocolat and Watership Down, other things about chocolate and bunnies, and Chocolate Wars, Deborah Cadbury, which is a familiar name. So now it's Ria's last Litsoc. We're very sad to say goodbye, but we have got you a little something, and we hope you'll be very happy in your new life.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoy it.
What is it? The owl service.
Why did you join it?
A classic.
It's set in Wales, so it's very dear to Mr. Humphrey's heart, and the author is very dear to my heart. So
Thank you.
enjoy your card.
But yeah, Ria, you are going to be missed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We hope you'll keep watching us.
we've loved your
checking us out
contribution, so
again.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Ria. Let's hear for Ria, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks everybody. Thanks for a great half term for all your ideas and contributions, and we look forward to talking about what we've been reading when we get back.
Absolutely.
Bye everybody.
Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.